Late as it is.
There's plenty of time, sir.
I have a very tight schedule today. I have lunch with Miss Auger at 1. I want you to pick me up at 2 sharp and drive me to campaign headquarters. After that, I have a press conference back at the office at 3, and then the women for Auger.
What women are they, sir?
The women for Auger, a group of public-spirited citizens. What's the matter?
Slight indisposition of the machine, sir. Nothing more.
What are you gonna do, spend the weekend? Did you hear me blow the whistle? What do you think you're doing here?
I stopped to admire the view. What is?
None of your back talking, I'll run you in.
You did. You and 10 more like you.
Is that so? Come on, get that car out of here. What might your name be?
My name's my own affair.
You do say so.
You just said so.
Say, you have a sharp enough tongue to be a Kerry man.
To tell you the truth, I'm from County Clare.
County Clare is...
But I'm relatives who live by the lakes of Killarney.
You do indeed.
I do indeed.
You know, it's 30 years since I left the old country.
Oh, you don't.
But perhaps I know some of your people. It's likely I do, you know.
No, you wouldn't. A simple, humble people.
Morris, do something. Do something. Get out. Get out of
I can't wait around any longer, Horace. I'm going to have to take a taxi.
May I suggest that you take the subway, sir? What you lose in dignity, you'll gain in time saved.
Oh, very well. Put this thing back together and pick me up at the restaurant at 2 sharp.
Yes, sir. I hope you enjoy your lunch, sir.
I'll give you a little push to the curb.
Won't be necessary, thank you, but...
Move right in. Come on, step lively. Step lively. Come on, hurry. Step right in. Yeah, one more. Come on, step right in. That's it. Fine. Over here. Door's closing.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You know how it is with the rush hour. It's just terrible here because the car goes around a turn.
It's all right,
And, pardon me. Let me brush your hat.
No, that's all right. I have it.
I'm terribly sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
And such a beautiful hat, too.
Thank you very much.
It was really beautiful.
Step back, let the people out. Come out. Come on in, mister. Let them in, mister. Plenty of room in the back. Come on in back. Plenty of room in the back.
Impossible.
Oh, I didn't expect to see you.
But you in New York, it's a miracle.
Oh, hardly that. There's a perfectly reasonable explanation for it.
It's still a miracle. A succession of miracles. You see, my car broke down. I had a very important luncheon engagement. My chauffeur advised me to take the subway. It's the first time I'd been in one since I got back to New York. But if I hadn't taken that particular train, I never would have found you today. So just move over. tell me, where are you staying and how long have you been here in New York?
Now, I can't answer everything at once, Stephen. I've been here about a week.
And you haven't called me.
Oh, but I didn't know where you were. I'm stopping with Teddy's Aunt Bridget's cousin, Mrs. Crimmins, up the
That's
street
just
a bit.
not true.
Oh, but it is.
No, you. I mean, you're being here in New York.
Oh.
Here, let me take those packets from you.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. Oh.
I hope there's nothing in that that'll break. How long are you going to be here?
Oh, as long as my business takes me.
Take hold of my arm. I don't want to risk losing you again.
You'd think it were something unnatural and wonderful that I should be here.
Well, it's wonderful, whatever else it is.
Oh, wait. I promised little Dennis I'd bring him some candy. How much is this?
Oh, 50 cents. Half a buck. 4 beats. Well, I'm sorry. I couldn't change that. I just send the boy out for some change.
Oh, dear. Stephen, would you mind?
Yes, Ola. It's funny, I could have sworn the man must have let me go out without my wallet this morning. This is all I had. You couldn't change it to doubloon, could you?
What? Oh, no, not your lucky piece, Stephen. I'll wait for my change. I was thinking of having my lunch. You know, Mrs. Crimmins' cousin son-in-law, Cornelius, has a bit of a bar and grill on the corner. You wouldn't care to join me, would you, Stephen?
Oh, I'd like to, Nora. Except that I have a very important luncheon engagement, and after that, 3 or 4 conferences. You know how it is, the usual thing.
Sure you have. I won't press you, though. I hate to eat alone.
Gee, I wish I could, Nora.
You wouldn't refuse me out of pride, would you, Stephen?
Pride? I don't quite understand.
How si sta fino a mo'? Ogni volta che va a fare un servizio stai 3 ore, già stai. Ecco, ci mi sono trovato a casa di là. Hey, what, lady?
Thank you. Forgive me for speaking of your affairs. I could cut my tongue out for it.
You mind if I change my mind and accept your invitation?
Would you, Steve?
I was never a man to argue with miracles.
Good, huh?
Excellent. Oh, no more for me, thank you.
Oh,
No?
now, Stephen, you had hardly any at all.
Tis me wants on Irish stew, sir. And that light, it wouldn't distress a canary.
Well, just a very little bit. Oh, a little bit.
You'll have some beer with it.
No more beer, thank you.
Just a small one. And yourself, Miss Nora?
Oh, no. My tea'll be plenty. Are you expecting many people?
Well, if all come that my old lady has invited, indeed, the place will be running over into the avenue itself.
Cornelius' daughter's getting married Friday. The celebration's to be
congratulations.
here.
Thank you, sir. If you care to attend yourself, sir,
I'd like
I'd
to,
be
but
very
my
happy.
time's pretty well taken up right now.
Well, if you change your mind, you're entirely welcome. The more, the merrier.
Thank you.
Cornelius, I'll take the check. Eat.
Oh, yes. Now, you still haven't told me why you're here.
Oh, well, it's very simple. Teddy's Uncle Peter died here in New York and left him a bit of money.
That's Mr. Crimmins, hmm?
No, his Driscoll uncle from Galway. The one that married the youngest Brady girl. Well, his father had the farm next to Sweeney's.
Oh, that one.
As you see, Mr. Driscoll had 4 sisters, and the eldest was married to Francis Corrigan, that had a public house in Limerick with his brother Seamus. Well, that failed for drinking with the customers, so my father took Sadie on as a lad to help with the horses. And then he came to America.
Corrigan.
No, Uncle Driscoll is, I'm telling you. You see, his favorite sister was Kathleen. That's Teddy's mother. And when young Paddy went to sea in 1920, he changed his will, leaving everything to Teddy. He never cared much for Rory or that little witch of Orion girl he married. There was some trouble with the O'Sheas, of course.
Of course.
They thinking that their mother, being the eldest, was entitled to a share. But Martin O'Shea had done well in marriage with the O'Dooleys from up Knocknashiga. And it was only a bit of an inheritance, a few shillings a month. So there was no trouble to persuade them not to make any complications.
That made everything very simple.
Oh, well, it would have been. But for Uncle Driscoll being a bit hazy in his notions and thinking that Teddy was a girl. So he left his money to his beloved niece. Can you imagine?
I can't think what confused him.
Well, anyway, someone had to come to straighten things out. And Teddy wouldn't budge. He mistrusted the sea and refused flat out to set foot on the Atlantic. He said, I'd rather die a poor man but to try one. So that's why I'm here.
I'm very glad you made it plain to me. And I'm very glad you're here.
Oh, Stephen, I never thought I'd see you. When I knew I was coming, I wrote that nice Mr. Clark in London for your address. But he didn't answer.
He's probably on the continent.
He did tell me one thing, though, before he left, that any time, whatever might happen, he'd be glad to have you back with him.
Did he say that?
If it's a question of passage money, I'm sure he'd advance it. Oh, a bit more than nice, too.
Oh, no, really, I couldn't.
But you had very little before.
But
Oh, come on now. A drop of this will do you good. Make you strong as a horse.
All right, Cornelius, do your duty.
And another potato.
Another potato.
Mr. Ogg, a personal question. As a former newspaper man, how does it feel to be against the wall instead of on the firing squad?
Well, it feels awful. I know you fellas will give me a break.
Do you think there'll be another war?
I answered that a few minutes ago.
No, you didn't. But then nobody else has either.
Mr. Auger, I understand you support the Crawford proposal for Germany.
Absolutely. That's a must as far as I'm concerned.
I'd like to read your comment on this proposal. Quote, the Crawford proposal is a fraud on the German people, a death sentence for European democracy, and a betrayal of American interests and ideals. Unquote. This appeared in the American Spectator on June the 6th under the byline of Stephen Fitzgerald. The same Stephen Fitzgerald who's running your brain trust today. Would you like to comment, or perhaps Mr. Fitzgerald would like to discuss it?
Well, boys, well, the answer to that's very simple. When Fitz wrote that, he was working for someone else. Now he's working for me.
Oh, Mr. Auger.
Fellas, let me change my shirt, will you? I haven't sweat this much since my first job carrying a hod.
You got any pictures of yourself carrying a hod?
Sorry, I didn't know I was going into politics then.
So long, Chris.
See you, Fitz. Bye. Good to see you, Fitz. Why don't you drop around the club sometime? Well, they keep me pretty busy. Yeah, we all have to make a living. Give me a ring. Right.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Go on.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Auger.
Not at all.
Say, you handled that perfectly, D.C. You know, I was afraid for a minute that...
Do you want anything else, Mr. Auger?
No, thank you. Should have told me about that piece, Fitz. You read it, didn't you? Yeah, I read it, but I didn't remember it was so strong. It'd be embarrassing if the opposition made an issue of it.
But you knew those were my views when you hired me.
Well, this is politics, Fitz. Where'd you put that bottle?
Here, let me do it, D.C.
This is politics. Got to keep one jump ahead of him.
Right away, D.C.
Not you. I've got it. You'll do a piece for New Era. We don't go to press till tomorrow night. On foreign policy. Second thought since you've had a chance to study the situation. You know one of those, on the other hand. The Crawford proposal's not as bad as you first thought it was. It's a pretty good thing in the long run.
My agreement with you calls for perjury, but not under my own byline.
Fitz. Have that thing on my desk by tomorrow noon.
Here you are, D.C.
What are you doing here?
I let you go out this morning without a clean handkerchief, sir. I hope you forgive me. I was thinking about it all the time I was dusting. I said to myself, there's poor Mr. Fitzgerald writing all those important political speeches, and him without a handkerchief to put to his nose.
It's very good of you, Horace. And now, if you don't mind, I have some work to do.
Yes, sir.
And after this, if you forget anything, you don't need to come chasing after me. There's such a thing as taking one's job too seriously.
Oh, no, sir, not when your heart's near work.
It's just a job, Horace.
No, sir. He's more than that. He's a life, indeed. When a man enters the personal services of another man, he must be prepared to surrender himself to his vocation. It is the master who matters, not the man. And so, if the man takes to his work, the master's wish will become his wish. The master's thought, his thought. The master's soul, his soul. When the master gets hurt, the man will cry out. When the master's nose itches, it will be the man who sneezes. He will live for his master, not for himself. Perhaps you find it difficult to understand, sir, because you are the type that wears no man's collar. You are a proud free man. It is for that reason that I'm proud to serve you. Will that be all, sir?
Yes. Yes, Horace, that'll be all.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Where's Mr. Auger?
He's gone out, sir.
When'll he be back?
I don't expect him back this afternoon.
Where can I reach him?
I don't know, Mr. Fitzgerald. But if it's important, I know he'll be home for dinner tonight. He's expecting some guests.
Have some more steak, Senator.
No, thanks, D.C. I lost my appetite 20 years ago. You'll find out.
I already have. I'll pay for this in the morning. What is it, Jenkins?
There's a Mr. Fitzgerald to see you, sir. He says it's important.
Ask him to come in.
Yes, sir.
Were you listening to the judge's conversation? Yes, wasn't it brilliant? No, it's so beautiful.
Come on in, Fitz. Come in. So good to see you. I believe you know everyone here, don't you?
Yes. Mr. Auger, I'm sorry. I thought you'd be finished dinner by this
Quite
time.
all right.
Senator Anson, this is Mr. Fitzgerald, my good right hand.
Ah, yes, I've heard of this young man.
Senator?
Have some dinner, Fitz.
No, thank you. I'd like to see you alone if it don't mind.
Oh, well, sit down. We'll be
I'd
through in a
rather
few-
wait in the study if it's all right.
Oh, sure. Make yourself a drink while you're waiting.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Oh, I'll help him. Will you excuse me?
Why, Irving. How much do you want for Mr. Fitzgerald, D.C.?
He's not for sale.
Really? I understood he was.
Well, I hear Father's been his usual sweet, tactless self again.
Never mind the drink, Francis. I'm not in the mood.
Oh, now, really,
As
Fitz,
you
I thought...
were instrumental in getting me this job, perhaps you'd like to be the first to read my resignation.
I hope you know what you're resigning from.
I think your father made that quite clear this afternoon.
I guess I shouldn't tell you this because it's still supposed to be a secret, but I happen to know what he has in mind for you.
Well, he hasn't let me in on the secret yet.
If he wins the election, he's going to have to find someone to run the publishing house. Naturally, he'd prefer to promote somebody in his own organization. Somebody who understands the Auger way of doing things.
Go on.
Of course, it would have to be somebody he can trust.
Or manage. What about Higginbottom?
Oh, no, Fitz, this isn't a job for a yes man. It's for a man who has the intelligence to recognize his big chance. Patience to wait for it, and the resolution to seize it. Father's a bit of a fool to go into politics. He has more power right now than a dozen senators. The man who sits in his office will inherit that power.
Not if he's still running things by remote control.
He won't be. I'll see to that.
You? How?
Leave that to me. D.C. Auger will be perfectly happy making speeches in Washington. Stephen Fitzgerald makes history here in New York.
Well, it's a very alluring prospect.
Of course you'd use the power for good, Fitz, but the important thing is to have it. It's all very well to have ideals, but what good are they if you can't reach the people with them?
Yes, but I'm not sure that's what I want.
It's what I want.
You have it now.
No, I haven't. I can wheedle certain things, but I'm not a partner.
You go with the job?
If you want me, Fitz.
Some cigars here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, here they are, Senator.
You needn't wait it up for me, Horace.
I thought you might require something, sir.
I'd like a drink.
Yes, sir, right away.
Fix one for yourself, too.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
I'd like you to drink my health, Horace. I'm going to be married.
Aye, indeed, sir. Would it be the tall lady, sir?
Oh, Miss Auger, yes.
You're a fortunate man. You make a fine mother for your children.
There's more to marriage than just having children, you know, Horace.
Oh, indeed there is, sir. Riches and poverty, sickness and health, love, honoring and obeying. She'll make you a fine wife, sir.
It's a very important decision, probably the most important that a man makes in his life.
Oh, indeed it is, sir. May I ask what prompted you to make it?
Well, one doesn't stop to analyze one's behavior when one's in love.
No, sir, but there must be something about the tall lady that made you select her as your partner for life.
Well, she's beautiful for one thing.
She is indeed, sir.
With a man's courage and a man's brains.
Yeah. Is there anything wrong with a woman's courage and a woman's brains?
We won't discuss it any further.
No, sir.
You have something against her, haven't you?
Me, sir? No, sir. Nothing at all, at all.
No one's forcing you to stay here and keep on working for me, you know.
No, sir. After the wedding, I'll be looking for another place.
But you don't have to make up your mind right now, Horace.
You'll have no further need for me after that, sir. Will that be all, sir?
Yes, that'll be all. Good night, Horace.
Good night, you say, sir. Oh, the saints forgive me, sir. I forgot to tell you that I'd waxed the floor.
Yes, Horace. It was very thoughtful of you, Horace.
This is good, Fitz. It's great. I like this ad-lib finish. I think it's just perfect for the journalist club. Sort of one newspaper man to another. How would it be if I put my hands in my pockets? You know, sort of informal, homespun.
No, I wouldn't get too homespun. You're liable to unravel.
Yeah, you mustn't overdo it. But this speech can be one of the most important in the campaign if we don't make any mistakes.
You're certainly right there, D.C.
Of course I'm right. Don't you have anything to do this afternoon?
No, I'm all finished for the day.
Finish of the day. Well, this is our chance to recapture the working press, Fitz.
If you don't have any further suggestions or criticism, I'll see if I can get that deathless document mimeographed.
Oh, by the way, I've arranged for you to sit at the speaker's table tonight.
I wasn't planning to attend.
I'll change your plans.
My agreement with you doesn't cover the way I spend my evenings.
In this case, it does. Take it easy, Fitz. If these were normal conditions, I wouldn't insist, but you're a member of this journalist club. What'll your friends say if you don't show up?
Assuming that I have any friends left.
You're oversensitive. There aren't 50 newspaper men in this town who entirely agree with their paper's policy.
Our relationship's a little different, isn't it?
Well, sure, but this is politics, Fitz. Politics makes strange
bedfellows. I know. I haven't been sleeping very well lately.
Well, if I'm not complaining, why should you? Consider what Lincoln had to put up with. Here, have some of this.
Thank you.
There's a gentleman to see you, sir.
Well, Bill, you old son of a gun.
How
are you? Gosh, it's good to see you. What brought you? Sit down.
Thanks.
Can I fix you a drink?
No, it's a little
Sure
early
not.
in the day.
How about a cigarette? Huh?
Oh,
I keep forgetting. You gave him up. Well, tell me, what brought you to New York?
The Spectator is calling in all its foreign bureau chiefs, you know, consultation. You live here, Fitz?
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, I'm not responsible for the decoration. A friend of mine did those. But I'll be giving the place up soon anyhow.
Sure, I understand, Fitz. Pretty expensive keeping a man, eh?
Huh? Oh, I don't pay him.
Oh?
No, Auger. Auger does it.
Auger. You're still working for Auger?
Well, of course.
Look, fella, you don't have to put it on with me. Say, what did you do? Tell him where to head in? Sure, then he passed the word round, I know.
You've been drinking or something?
Fitz, I have return plane reservations for Monday. I've got some for you, too. You're going to Italy for us.
Bill,
Why, it's a break for me, whatever happened. Norris Cable arrived just as I was leaving for the airport in London.
Norris Cable?
Sure, she's a girl in a million.
What did she say?
I got it right here. I wired Bronson and got his okay to sign you.
I had no idea. No idea she'd do anything like this.
Like what?
Well, she got it into her head that I was broke. I should have told her the truth.
The truth?
Yes, I'm still working for Auger, Bill.
You...
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I should have known it was too good to be true. Can you explain that to Nora?
No, I should have done it before this, but, you know, I've been busy.
Well, you'd better make it good. I'll be on my way.
Let's get together before you go back, Bill.
Well, I'll see you tonight. I'm going to hear your boss.
Oh, don't waste your time.
Why not? I hear he makes a good speech. Yeah, that's yours.
Oh, where can I reach you, Bill?
The Nelson. So long, Fitz.
Bye.
Excuse me, sir. The tour lady called, sir. She wants you to take her to the Jennison reception. She said she'd call back again, sir. The tour lady, sir.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, you talk to her, Horace. Tell her I'm tied up or something. Make it sound good.
Yes, sir.
Stephen, you came after all.
Yes, Bill. Clark came to see me.
He's here? You say that Billy's here?
Yes, Bill's here. He came to see me in my apartment, and he offered me a job.
Oh, I'm so glad. When will you be coming back?
Well, listen, Nora,
What's the matter with you? This is the second time. Why don't you...
Stephen Fitzgerald, this is Terence Flaherty of Hooper Nadder Company 38, the pride of the New York Fire Department.
Oh, Mr. Flaherty, how do you do?
How do you do?
What's the matter?
You smell smoke?
Smoke?
Yes. Back room, perhaps,
Back room?
Yes. Definitely smells smoke from someplace. Might very well be back there. I'd have a look if I were you.
Oh.
Come on, let's try it over here again.
Now, look, tell me about that job of Billy's.
Just what did you say to him in your cable?
Oh, he got it then.
Yes, he got it then.
Oh, you'll forgive me for that. I had no right to interfere in your affairs. But, Stephen, it wrung my heart to see you like that. I hope I haven't offended you.
Oh, you couldn't offend me if you tried.
Welcome to the party, sir. Well, I'm certainly glad you were able to make it. Here, drape that over your tonsils.
Nora, I have a confession to make. I have a job.
You have?
A very good job. I'm well on the way to being a very rich man.
You lied to me.
No, I didn't lie to you.
You did so. Then it was the truth. All that about the motor cars and drivers and important appointments.
Yes. But it was the truth. How could I be lying to you?
Oh, now don't try to wriggle out of it. Just go tell Terence Flaherty that I'm not busy.
You're not angry, are you, Nora?
Of course I'm not angry. Being made a fool out of in broad daylight.
Well, I tried to tell you that...
You did not.
There's no smoke out there.
Well, you better try upstairs.
Oh.
Oh, Stephen Fitzgerald, you're a wicked and deceitful man. And me filling you up with Irish stew.
Well, it was wonderful stew.
It was not. She puts too much flour in the gravy. But I'm glad you got what you wanted from life.
don't you?
Stephen, are you all right? Oh, this is terrible. I'm so sorry. Oh, speak to me, Stephen. Oh, open your eyes. Oh, won't somebody please get him out of here now? Oh, Stephen. Oh, this is terrible.
The rose
Stephen, it was all my fault. Oh, Stephen, praise be you're alive. Oh, darling.
Oh, nice friends you have.
Don't be saying anything against them. Oh, no, you mustn't move now. Your poor head, Stephen.
I'm all right. I have to go.
You should rest for a little.
I'm late as it is. I'll see you home.
Good night, child. God keep step with you.
I live here, Stephen.
Goodbye, Nora.
Goodbye. Why, I was hoping you'd see me off on the steamer tomorrow.
I'd like to, but I'm going to the country for the weekend with my fiancée. I'm being married in a month.
I wish you happiness, Stephen. Goodbye.
Good evening, sir.
Perhaps you can explain this to me.
It's a beautiful old pebble, sir.
Half an hour ago, that was a coin from your pot of gold.
What sort of wild talk is that?
You know very well what sort of talk that is.
May I ask what's on your mind, Horace?
The truth, Horace. I want the truth.
Keep your distance, Fitzgerald.
Come clean now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't, eh? What about this shoe? Huh?
Take your hands off me, children. I'll be happy to give you any information you require.
You are the leprechaun, aren't you? And I'm crazy. I've been crazy ever since that first night in Ireland.
I'll answer your questions in turn. I am. But you see, I am. Now, the term perhaps is not quite the best usage. As to your mental condition, it's true you're a bit on the weak-minded side, but you're as sane as you'll ever be.
Aren't you a little large for a leprechaun?
That's a page of my family history we won't go into if you don't mind. I'm a patch from all the exercise you've given me. Do you mind if I have a drink? Do you mind? So?
You brought Nora over here, didn't you?
No. You brought her here yourself, Fitzgerald. Long ago. In your mind. A physical presence alters nothing.
What are you trying to do, ruin my life?
Let us discuss the matter calmly, Fitzgerald. Do you mind? You must believe me when I tell you that I was prompted by the noblest of motives, simple gratitude and affection for yourself. It was for that reason that I left my native waterfall to come here and dwell in your cold, inhospitable city. And I don't mind telling you, I'm a little bit homesick. My nose itches for the smell of peat and my eyes watered for the sight of a blackthorn in bloom. It's sad indeed that I've been unable to complete my mission. That I must leave you and fail you.
But I didn't ask you to come.
To be sure you didn't. But then, you don't always wait for an invitation to follow the brave music of a distant drum. You see, I had learned to like you. Still, I suppose, to be philosophical, there would be other centuries to come. And other young men with a nose for treasure. I offered you gold. It is not my fault that you prefer a pebble.
Horizon. Well, I've tried to give you as sincerely as I can my view of the issues of the campaign. Not that I expect you all to agree with me. Frankly, I'd be a little worried if you did. As long as a good, healthy disagreement is the essence of a free press. Well, I hope you won't be too hard on me. Remember, I used to be an honest newspaperman myself. Off the record, I wish I still were. Well, like to make a little announcement. If I'm lucky enough to win the election, I intend to resign from Auger Publication. I've given a good deal of thought to the selection of the man who'll take my place. Well, I didn't have to look far. For the past couple of months, I've been honored to work with one of the best newspaper men of our time. You all know him as a first-rate reporter and a whale of a good fellow, Steve Fitzgerald. Go on, say something, Fitz.
Well, I'm very grateful to Mr. Auger for his very flattering offer, but I can't accept. In the first place, I wasn't cut out for the job. And in the second place, Mr. Auger should have someone in charge of his publications who agrees with him on the issues.
Is this on the record, Fitz? Can we quote you?
Well,
What are your own plans, Fitz?
I haven't any. I haven't any except to sit under a waterfall with an old friend of mine.
Fitz, come back. Fitz, give us some more. Will you bring it back? Mr. Auger, how about a steak? Mr. Auger, do you have You're really serious. Surely, Fitz, you can tell us more than this. What about this, man? What is this disagreement?
Wait a minute, fellas. I've said enough. You heard it all.
Was there any chance you'll change your mind?
No, I'm resigning as of right now, for good.
Well, what about the engagement, Fitz? Is it on or off?
I'm afraid that's up to Miss Auger.
How about that, Miss Auger? Are you going to share that waterfall?
I don't think I'm invited. But even if I am, as Mr. Fitzgerald would say, I'm afraid I wasn't cut out for the job. Goodbye, Fitz.
Goodbye, Francis.
It's well written, Fitz. But I don't agree with a word of it.
What's wrong with it?
Well, anyone who knows a thing about conditions in Italy...
Listen, I was there. Were you?
Oh, I should have gone myself, I know.
All right, all right. If you don't like it, I'll turn it over to D.C. Auger, now that he's safely back in the publishing business.
Who said I didn't like it? Yeah, we'll run it as a series. The usual rates.
Are you two going to sit here all night arguing?
Oh, it's this pig-headed husband of yours, Nora. He has no respect for my gray hairs.
Listen, he's getting an Auger complex. Don't you want a nightcap, Bill?
No, thanks. I'm going to bed.
All right. Good night, Teddy.
Good night, Mr. Fitz.
Come on, honey. Teddy, would you just leave that bottle on the table there?
I had no intention of touching it, I can assure you.
Good night, Bill.
Good night, Bill.
Good night.
If you want anything, just sing out.
Thanks. I want a wife like Nora.
There aren't any.
It gets altogether unmanageable. I'll remember that. Bill! Oh.
What's that here?
Oh, it's you.
What were you doing with the bottle?
It's for an old friend of mine, just in case he needs something to keep out the cold, you know. Good night.
All right.
Good night.